Hope you had a nice little break.
I did. We got to spend a little bit of time with the family, which is nice, but also worked hard with the players that stayed at home. So, yeah, all in all, very good, and obviously can't wait to get back.
Just wondering, a lot of minutes for United players over the break. Did everyone come back? Everyone come back fit and healthy?
Yeah, we don't know that yet. I've not had any reports that there are any injuries from the camps. So hopefully everybody's come back fit and healthy. We assessed that this morning as they all come back in. Otherwise, with the way that our players have been, they've been all over the world. So getting them back on the same day is really important to us. So not that, but as I say, the conversation is that there's not been any injuries. There might be a couple of sore bodies, but hopefully, touch wood, that we've come through a physically demanding window for our players. Also shows that our players are in high demand, right, and that they're playing well, so their national teams are using them too. So hopefully that stays and we can have everybody available for Sunday.
Brilliant. I just wanted to quickly ask as well, it's a big kind of block coming up with some important games in the league and in the Champions League as well. Kind of what are you hoping to see from the team in this block before the next break?
Yeah, and honestly, I think there are 2 blocks like that coming up. I think it almost that you'll replicate both those blocks. I want to see the same as what I've seen this first part of the season, and what that is a full commitment. Like the reality is we go to Brighton on Sunday and you can't miss a beat. So when we go into this game, we've got to be full of energy. We've got to be fully committed. So when they come in this morning, you always get this brilliant energy hangover from going away with their national teams because I haven't seen each other. But I need to put that into training, and then I need to put that into the game. So the one thing about Brighton is they're fully committed to what they do. They don't concede many goals, especially in the league. So we've got to make sure we're at that stage where we fully commit, and I think that's what I'm going to remind the players of when we go into this.
Good luck.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Thanks, Catherine. Simon, please.
Hi, Mark.
Good morning, sir. I hope you too.
Just in terms of injuries, how's Jess Park, and how do you monitor that situation? Because clearly concussion is a major issue across all sports these days.
Yeah, I think the medical team, as always, the one thing I don't ever do, Si, is I never push or force anybody back that's not ready. So Jess trained the other day, so Jess is perfectly fine now. So basically what happened was, after, I think if you saw the hit, she blocked a fantastic block, and she just had some delayed onset the day after. So basically, we followed all the protocol, all of the processes, all of the testing. She was in for extra days after that testing, and she had quite a lot of rest. And so she trained fully the other day. She'll train fully today, fully tomorrow. So she should be ready for the weekend. So, but what I must stress is, like, if she wasn't at any point okay, she would not be put into the teams. But she's trained fully, as I say, the other day. So she's ready to go.
And just on injuries, I realise it's an opponent rather than your team, but Michelle Aguiman, and obviously it's desperate news for her and for Brighton and for England, I suppose.
Yeah, and look, the reality is, regardless of if she plays for another team, I'm an Englishman and proud to be. So, I look at that and I just want to wish her all the very best. She's an extremely talented player, and it's a very sad situation for both her club, country, and obviously her home club, Arsenal. So, but what I will know is the type of character that she is, and what I'm hearing about her as a character is that it will build her and make her stronger, I've no doubt. So, she should use this moment as a step away, a reflection, and she seems like a very focused individual. And then, I wish her all the very best on her recovery, and hopefully she's back very soon on the pitch.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you, Si. Have a good day.
Thanks, Simon. Dan, please.
Morning, Mark.
Good morning, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Apologies, I think I joined slightly late,
That's
so if
okay.
I repeat anything,
No,
I
it's
apologise. I suppose it looks a particularly tricky block, this next kind of group of 5 games. So I just wonder, you're in good form, you've got momentum. What do you want to see more from the team in these next 5 games, and what's kind of the targets that you've set?
Yeah, I think we can go and attack all of these games like we want to win them. That's not arrogance. That's, I think, the confidence we set ourselves up with and the expectation we will have. I want to see us to be more ruthless earlier on games, Dan, really, to be honest. I think we're creating lots of chances, and I think we need to be putting them away. And I think we've tended to kind of leave them later in games, and so I want to make sure that we can do that, because if you can do that, then you can fully rotate the squad and get the right balance. I think I want to make sure in this block and the next block, especially after the next international window, that every player is ready to take their part within what we're doing. So those are going to be the two focus areas: finishing games earlier, especially when we're creating chances, but also then trying to utilise the squad as much as possible.
Just going back to Brighton again, you might have covered this a little bit with Catherine, but you've had a couple of really, really difficult trips there in the league in the last couple of years where you've got a point, but obviously it's not 3. So what do you feel you need to do a little bit differently this time around? Is there anything you feel you've got to do better to make sure that it's 3 and not less? Yeah,
I think we need to replicate kind of the cup performance we had there a couple of seasons ago, where we were totally dominant. I don't think it's one of those games, Dan. I think, in all honesty, I think them and West Ham are pretty similar. I think the pitch plays a part in the way that your game plan has to go about. Like, when it's a tight pitch, it screams for you to try and make mistakes on it rather than it be something where you could be fluid, and it's tight. So, you've got to play the pitch as well as you've got to play the opponent. And I've got big respect for Dario and the team and what they've been doing. So they don't concede many in the league. So we've got to be at our game, and I think we've got to be tight. We've got to watch their counter attacks. They're good in build up. So all in all, I think you've got to play. What we've got to try and learn is playing the pitch as well as the opponent.
That's brilliant. Thanks for that, Mark.
Thank you, mate. Have a great day.
Thanks, Dan. Asif, please.
Hi, Mark.
Good morning, Asif.
I just wanted to clarify the position with regards to Simi Awoja. Casey Stoney didn't include her in the Canada squad due to what she said was an MCL tear in the summer. She has featured on the bench for you, but do you consider it to be match fit to start games, or is she still in recovery?
No, shit. So I had this conversation with Simi in the week, actually, Asif. So Simi was going to start the season for us. And then as we go into the Champions League qualifiers, she does her MCL. So, that was a 6-week block, to which she had a little bit of irritation, so we kind of managed it. She's only been available since the Chelsea game, really, which is 4 games. But the Chelsea game, she'd only come back the day before that. So she's had very little time to kind of make that. We've trained her hard during this window. I absolutely understand why Casey didn't pick her, because Casey wants to pick players that are playing. I totally understand that. But it was just a circumstantial one with Simi. I hope now in this next block and the block beyond that we see Simi get right back up to those levels. Whether she starts or not in the upcoming games, we should be ready, hopefully, in this block, Asif, to see a little bit more of her and then grow her into what we're trying to do again.
And just finally, I just wanted to ask you about if you had anything to say about the passing of John Humble, your former kit man, perhaps someone we didn't know very well, but someone well known to you in the players.
Yeah, thank you for bringing it up, Asif. With the news, and especially it's affected Liverpool. He currently, was working for Liverpool. John was an incredible human, and I think, it's only only fitting that his name was Humble. He's John Humble, because he was the most humble guy. He had the most attention to detail. He was a brilliant ambassador for kit people in general. Like, he just ran it like it was an organisation, and he will be sadly missed by. I've never met anybody that didn't love John, and so it's a big hit for us, and it's a big hit for Liverpool, I'm sure. We celebrate his life before the Villa game, so on Thursday next week. So I am looking forward to celebrating his life, and just sharing what a special man he was. And like we said about Matt Beard, he won't be forgotten at Manchester United. He will be forever remembered.
Cheers, Mark.
Thank you, Asif, and thank you for asking. Have a great day.
Thank you, Asif. Holly, please.
Obviously, Jess Park got WSL Player of the Year. Do you think she's settled into your squad, and what difference do you think she's made to your team?
I think she's made an incredible difference, and what I'd say is she with her skill set, she's awoken players around her as well, and I don't mean that in a negative way to them. she just adds another skill set that brings out the best in those. And I think, when you look at Tooney, the way Tooney started the season as well, I think her and Jess have a special relationship where they come to life together. They're both incredibly creative footballers. And I think that benefits the front line. I think that also benefits when you have more of the ball. It's changed and adapted our style a little bit. We've always been possession-based, but we like to transition too. But Jess gives you just a different variance on that. And she's been incredible. I can't stress enough, she's just the most perfect human as well. She just comes in and does her job and loves playing football. And that was my job, is to release her to be able to do that. And I think not get too heavy, to think, to analyse, but also to play a game. And I can't, I hope that continues. And when people get used to it, we'll adapt and adjust their position so they have to adapt and evolve again.
And obviously you mentioned about how many international players you had on duty. How rewarding is that for you as a manager to see how many players are being called up to the international squads?
Yeah, it's a fine line, because they're always at risk of playing and getting injured. So no, it's great, and especially the level. I look at the Swedish players that were playing in that high level game against Spain. So that experience will help them grow as well. But even for example, like Tooney playing against for England against two teams that went down to 10 players. It's great experience because it shows you all the ways in which you have to play the game. So I think Maya stepping in and perform as well as she did as well is great for her and obviously great for us. So I just want to welcome them all back healthy, and hopefully we can do that when we've assessed them this morning.
Thank you and good luck for the weekend.
Thank you, Holly. Have a great day.
Thanks, Holly. Jamie Lee, please.
Good morning.
Good morning,
sorry,
Jamie
my
Lee.
cut out last time.
That's okay.
I don't know what's been said, but squad depth has been important this season with players coming back from injury. And how are you balancing rotation while maintaining rhythm during performance?
Yeah, I mean, the reality was the first block of the season, first quarter of the season was about that. It's about consistency. When you don't have consistency, it doesn't matter. No player coming into any team has any platform to play from. So it'll be about consistency in the first block. The next two blocks will be about the players now showing that they're ready to play. I won't put a player in that I don't think is ready. I think right now we're on the cusp of having everybody ready. We've had a good training week with the players that have stayed at home, and hopefully they're up to speed now. So I'm hoping that we can get the right players in the right spaces, and everybody feels their value within these next two blocks.
And then finally, do you have any news on Millie Tonga's injury?
On who, sorry?
I don't even know.
Oh, Millie Turner, sorry, yeah. So Millie's progressing really well. They're really happy with her progression, but it's still looking like it'll be after Christmas, towards the end, late part of this start of this season, and then maybe into the first when we come back after Christmas.
Thank you, good luck.
Thank you, Jamie Lee. Have a good day.
Thank you. Hallie, please.
Hi Mark, thanks for speaking to me. So
No
obviously
problem.
the top table's looking quite tight now. Obviously the team's sitting third and there's 2 points between you and top spot. In the game this weekend is crucial to make sure United stay in the title race. How are you and the team looking forward to playing this weekend, especially after international break?
Look, we're looking forward. We always look forward to getting back to see each other. I know that sounds strange, but that's a good environment to have where everybody wants to look forward to seeing each other and being back in each other's company. I think that's really important because I think that leads into then how we play against Brighton. Connected, spirited, together. I think these are all things that I'm looking for going into this game. And you're right, look, we want to pick up the points, but so do Brighton. So we don't dismiss the fact that they're a very good team with a very good manager and they want to win the game. So we know it'll be tough, but I want us to show our experience, our quality, and to show our commitment again and again in this next block of 5 games before the next international window. So we start with a tough tie, but they're all going to be tough during this window. So I want our girls to get back to business quickly and as efficiently as possible.